Here we have the perfect open-top sports car for a December morning. MGTF, or LE500 you may want to call it, because this is the Chinese example that was built between 2010 and 2011 by MG after they'd been acquired by the Chinese. MG itself collapsed 2005, but they resurrected the MGTF for just a very short production run. It only was 2010 and 2011 registered cars. These cars have got the improved engine. It's an N series engine, not the K series, so you don't have the head gasket worries that you got with the original. And it also has improved suspension and brakes over the original MGTF. So let's have a quick look at it. It's supposed to be a much better car. I'm hoping so. Well, if I'm being honest, I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the TF. I think it's a good looking car. It's a proper basic mid-engined sports car. They just don't make stuff like this anymore. And if you're a bit of a petrol head, it's quite nice to just have that raw power, albeit it's only 135 horsepower, right behind you, and a fairly basic car without any of the electrical gremlins that you get in modern ones. This is quite a strange design in a sense, because it's mid-engine, which is actually quite a complicated thing to make, but it's also quite basic. It's just a very, very conventional car, no electrical gizmos in it. This is not a car that's got touchscreens or electronic aids on it. It's a lot more basic than that. The original had a massive flaw in that it had a K-series engine which suffered from head gasket issues. And yes, you can change those head gaskets, but it's always there in the back of your mind that can be a bit of an Achilles heel on the original MGTF. However, when it was resurrected briefly by the Chinese in 2010, they put an N series engine in it, which is an improved design, and that does not have those woes of head gasket failure. Power remained at 135 horsepower. This is a 135 brake, or 133 I think, 135 PS, which is the European horsepower, which is pretty much the same as you got from the K series, the mid-range K series. So in terms of performance, it's more or less neck and neck, but the suspension was improved as well, and we've got more powerful brakes, which you can see through my alloy wheel there. Nice design on the wheels, I think, as well. And what they didn't do is mess around with the lines, because in my opinion this is a good looking car already. It didn't need to be molested in any way by them, so they retained the styling of the TF. And doesn't it look pretty? Now I'm trying to think, this is a 2010 car. 2010, 2011 were the very last of these, and this is one of the very last. I think there were 1150 that were produced of this model. And this is number 1102 off the production line, so it's actually one of the very last MG TFs ever built. And I don't think anything since has been made that is an affordable open-top sports car like this. So it's kind of the last of an era of sports cars. You know, if you're looking at mid-engine cars these days, you're looking at pretty exotic stuff, really. But look at this. Leather seats, it's tiny, it's easy to place on the road, it's really low, very direct power steering on it. It does feel like a car that's more early 90s than noughties, and bear in mind this is a 2010 model. That's where the tech is, really. It's obviously very closely related to the original MGF, albeit that had the hydroelastic suspension. The TF came along a little bit later on with coil springs, and this has got coil springs as well, but it's an improved setup. But I quite like it. I quite like the fact that it's just an honest little sports car, and we don't have too many things like this anymore. They'll never make a car like this again. They probably couldn't get a car like this through impact testing anymore. So let alone the fact that you've got to have ridiculous stuff like lane assist on them now. So this is a dying breed. It's a dead breed of car, isn't it? And I'm quite chuffed to have one of the last of them in stock. It's a very pretty car. It's only done 40,000 miles from new. The gentleman who owned it was semi-retired and a member of the MG Owners Club, and this car was garaged, and as you'll see in a moment, it's actually got a cover to go over it when it's in the garage as well, so it's in pristine condition. It's an absolute credit to him. I'm not sure if the mesh grille thing was something the Chinese did or whether it's particular to this car. I don't know enough about it, but jump in the comments if you know. But it does look quite retro cool, doesn't it? But overall, there's not a massive amount of cosmetic difference between this and the UK car. We've still got the Union Jack flying on the side there. I think we have got one at the back as well. Yes, we have. And we've still got the same original MG keys. Let me show you. That's what it looks like. I've got a big bunch of keys on me. I've got 3 keys for this car, believe it or not. Let's pull that in there, open it, and here is the boot. So we have got an N-series engine somewhere in there. You can get to all the vitals though from here. Ignore my trade plates. I've got a lot of history for the car in that book, but I won't show you now. It'll be in the description of this video if you want to have a proper look. And we've got a car cover by here. It is quite a deep boot on this car, so if you are planning on having a little sports car for getaways, you'll easily get, you know, quite a few soft bags, maybe even a couple of suitcases in the back of this. You get sort of 2 or 3 carry-on cases in the back of here, which is more than enough for most. But how about that? The hood is absolutely pristine as well. Just to show you briefly, I won't put it all the way up now, but we've got the rear heated window as well, all working properly. We've also got a little cover there, which I don't think standard. Someone's fitted that onto it, but a little wind deflector there, made of Perspex, which is quite nice. It's got a little MG badge in it as well. Now, one thing you do have to do in here is it's got an old school immobiliser on it, so if I put the key in, I'll need to press the unlock button to disconnect the immobiliser so I can start it. And there we are, starts perfectly. As you'd expect, it's only done 40,270 miles. Let's give it a little rev. It doesn't sound any different to the original, to be honest with you, but at least there's no steam coming out the back of it. To me, I've always liked these, and I've always been scared of them because they had gasket woes. So having one that hasn't got that worry makes it a perfect little weekend sports car. If you're going to have something for a bit of fun, it's so different from a modern car. It's just brilliant. You know, why have a modern car as your second car, as your fun car? Why not have something a little bit different? Well, this car's got the reliability of a modern car because it's got an N-series engine in it, but it's in every other respect a classic British sports car, really. Open top motoring, back to basics, 5-speed manual box, which has got quite a nice throw to it, and this tiny steering wheel, which is just so direct. You know, it will keep you smiling from year to year when you're driving this car. Even on a quite cold winter's day like this, I can put my heater up in here and just enjoy open top motoring. It's just fantastic fun. I really love these cars. I'm about 5'10". I'm a big guy and I fit in here absolutely fine. The seat though is as far back as it goes. If you're over 6 foot, you probably want to try it out first. My father-in-law has one of these cars. He is, I think, 6'2", so you know it will accommodate you. It's not as small as you think, but it is a tight cockpit. You are reminded that it is a proper classic sports car in here. Do not expect too many luxuries. And on that note, heating controls are as basic as they come. There is no aircon, so don't even ask about it. Electric windows are by here on the dashboard. And we've got a fairly modern Clarion stereo there, which has got an aux input in it. That's it. Electric windows, electric mirrors, and power steering. You don't need any more than that in your classic British sports car. We're parked here by the golf club. Several people have just pulled up looking at this car, and I think the colour and the fact that it's got those lovely wheels on it does make it really stand out from the crowd. So it's a car that people tend to love seeing, and you'll be asked questions certainly by the people in the know because it's on a 60 plate. which means it is a good 5 and a bit years newer than when MG went bust and when they stopped making the original MGTF. So it's quite a rare car, this. Yes, there's other open top sports cars that you can buy in this price range, like MX-5s, and also the little bit older now, but the Mark III MR2 springs to mind as a rival. But this TF's a little bit different, and well, I've got a soft spot for it. I've put the hood up now as well, just to show you the condition. Pretty much immaculate. Just had it cleaned, so excuse the fact that it's a little bit damp in places, but it's about as good as it comes. And yeah, just a nice place to be. I like stuff that's a bit unusual, as you probably know if you watch our channel regular. So if you're into stuff like this, make sure you hit on the subscribe button, and make sure you click on the notifications to be kept informed of the new videos as they come up and new cars that we have in stock. As with everything, this car will be going up for sale. I'm not sure if I'll get it up for sale before Christmas. There is every possibility it might be in the new year now, but if you are interested in it, if you're watching this video online and this car is something that you desire, get in touch. 07932873646 is my number, and if you look in the item description of this video, there will, when I get round to doing the advert, I will put a copy of that advert in the item description of this video. But thanks ever so much for watching. I hope it's been of interest. And if you've owned one of these, and I'm sure many people watching this video will be MG enthusiasts and you know a little bit more about them, please dive into the comments. I would love to know more about this car and these cars, and the pros and cons of having one of the Chinese cars over one of the UK ones, because I'm not an expert in these at all, just someone who's a bit of a petrol head and a bit of an enthusiast. So please get in the comments and let me know a little bit more, and any ownership experience, if you've had one, would be fantastic, along with some tips, because people watching this video are going to need that and be interested in it. But thanks ever so much for watching. Have a great day wherever you are. And if you're watching this and it is still Christmas time, well, happy Christmas to you. Thanks ever so much for watching our videos. Have a great time over Christmas, and I hope that you have a prosperous new year. Thanks for watching.